Hi, I'm Rookie from Wombi's Kitchen, and I am doing this presentation later. I thought I would practice it now, and I thought I would record it while I was practicing it to see how I sound and how it is. And I was going to put it out to you guys just so you get a bit of an idea about me. So it's not my background or anything like that. It's what's happened over the last 18 months with a few stories from before as well. So I am just going to share my screen. I'm doing this on Zoom. I have no idea if this is the best way to do it. Pretty much sure it isn't, but let's go with it for now. So, like I said, this is some time in the life of Wombi's Kitchen. I just wanted to start with this. I put this on my social media post this morning, and it's something I wrote on Saturday night after a couple of glasses of wine. I'm not sure why, but it's in this order, and I was really pleased with how it sounds because it sums me up quite well. So I'm a work in progress. I will get it wrong. I will get it right. I will persevere. I will cry. Honestly, I'll tell you about that in a minute. I will be so proud of myself. I will not let my customers down, and I will stay true to myself. So I have got some notes in front of me, so do forgive me if I do keep looking down every now and again. I haven't worked out how to make all this stick in my head quite so much. Should do, really. So I've had a number of cooking incidents over the last year, and social media is all about showing this amazing life that you've got, but actually for me, I do like telling people about how it all goes wrong and sharing a bit of the reality. I don't want you to think I'm incompetent, because I would never give these things to customers, but it does go wrong. People need to know these things. So macarons, oh my God, if you followed me on social media, you will know about this. I have had so many batches of broken macarons. It breaks my heart every single time. I have made every mistake under the sun, and God, you just kick yourself when you do it. I've forgotten the sugar. The picture on the top left is me forgetting the sugar, and they don't rise at all. I've cooked them too hot, so they split. I've not cooked them enough, so they stick to the bottom of the trays. I used to keep the spares, or I do keep the spares sometimes, but actually I've got so many spares, sometimes they outweigh the nice ones, so I do put them in the bin quite often. So last Friday was the beginning of Halloween for me, as in people were picking up the Halloween boxes that I was making for them, and in a really short space of time I had a couple of disasters. It was just one of those mornings where you think, I can't believe this is all happening. So I made a frisbee scone. If you've never made a frisbee scone, I'd suggest you use your normal scone recipe and you add the wrong flour to it. I used plain flour instead of self-raising flour. It was like a rock. If I'd thrown it at a wall, it would have gone straight through. It was just ridiculous. I burnt a sausage roll. I not only burnt a sausage roll, this was in the kids' afternoon tea that was going out. It set every smoke alarm off in the house. We had every window and every door, including the front door, wide open. It was a bit of a nightmare. So much so that my son, who, the younger one, who never normally gets out of bed, actually got out of bed and said, "Mum, is it a real fire, or is it just you cooking in the kitchen?" So that was lovely. Thanks. Oh God, I miscalculated on Friday how many cakes I needed. I'll tell you why in a minute. I actually ended up giving a customer one box of Halloween treats instead of two, which was absolutely horrendous. I realized as soon as she left the house, and I gave her another box, but it was one that was allocated to someone else. So I ended up with one less cupcake. So I had to frantically start making cupcakes on Friday afternoon because I had some more pickups on Saturday. Luckily, they were split over 2 days. I had a pivot table. I had everything listed. I thought I was so organized. Clearly I'm not. So that was Friday. On the bottom left, we have my choux au craquelin, and I love these. These are choux buns filled with creme patissiere, and they've got a crunchy topping on the top. The recipe says roll the topping out really thin, and the first time I did, and they came out like this. And then I made some the other day, and I was just being a bit lazy and a bit quick, and I just rolled it out and I threw them on top. And what happened was they just concertinaed, and they tasted great. They rose up in places, but they weren't something that I could give to people. And this bottom right one, well, people ask me to make cakes. I'm not a cake maker. I'm privileged to make them. I do like making these ones now that I've sussed out how to do it. But I iced this cake 3 times. I finished icing it at about half midnight, the night before someone was picking it up. It brought me to tears. It genuinely, I just didn't know what to do with it. Obviously it wasn't like this, because this is, you know, I'll teach people one day, this is the most simple way to ice a cake. It's great. It just looked horrendous, and I promised the lady who I was giving this cake to that I would show her the pictures, and I've never managed to do it. I've never managed to look through my phone and go, yeah, these are the ones. So you know, if you haven't seen them yet, you will never see them. And you might be wondering why there's a pressure cooker on the right. I went to uni in the early 90s, and I took my mum's pressure cooker with me. I thought, you know, she makes great food. I do it at home. I've used the pressure cooker 100 times. It'll be fine. Good grief. I made some Dunsark dal. The Dunsark dal ended up on the ceiling, on the floors, on the walls, on the counters, absolutely everywhere. And it's coloured with turmeric. So it was yellow. And it's stained, and it was an absolute mess. And I phoned my mum up going, what am I supposed to do? She goes, I'm not there. I can't do anything. It's all up to you. You're an absolute idiot. So, you know, incidents happen. They happen all the time. I wish I'd documented more of them, because actually looking back on them, they make me laugh. At the time, like I said, they can reduce me to tears. Let's move on to happier subjects. So these are my happy accidents. And again, there will be more of them, but these are the ones that, you know, they've really made a really big difference to the business. So on the left, we've got Rocky Road. I was asked to be a camp chef a couple of years ago for the local scout group. They go away for 4 or 5 days, and they wanted someone to do the cooking. The lady who did it before was leaving, and they thought I would do it. This is way before I was thinking about doing cooking in the slightest. And I realised that I would need food that I could do and in advance and keep and then give out. So it made my day a lot easier. So what I did was I looked online, and Rocky Road kept coming up. I was like, I've never eaten it. Okay, I'll give it a go. And I looked through, I must have looked through about 10 or 15 recipes, and I picked out all the ingredients that I really liked from them, because a lot of them had glacé cherries or M&Ms and lots of things that I just wouldn't touch. So you can put anything in them. And I made this, and it was an absolute hit. People absolutely love it. You know, if there's an event at the Scouts, I end up making this for them. And for you guys as well. People do generally like it, and I love the fact that I can make it in people's names and personalize it. It's great. The second one are my macarons. You've heard about how I hate making them when they blow up and they do stupid things. But the reason I started making them was that I did a local trawl of the local charity shops in our area, and I found a book from M&S, and it was an afternoon tea book. I love an afternoon tea, absolutely adore it, but I'd never ever considered making a macaron. It had a recipe. I don't use that one anymore because it doesn't work as well as my new one does, you know, when it works. But it got me on this road to making macarons, and macarons are amazing for giving out to people at events and networking groups. So I used to take them away and do that kind of thing. And it's just kind of grown from there, which is just fab. And the one on the right is one of my favorite meals to eat of all time. It's Thai green chicken curry, even better with prawns. This has come about from traveling. You know, I traveled for 10 months around the world with Pete. We spent 3 months of that in Thailand, and we ate a lot of Thai food. Oh my God, we couldn't get enough of it. And when we got back, we found this book written by an author, a guy who was from Thailand, and this recipe is just amazing. I've been asked for it lots of times. I will share it one day. I just need to be brave enough to get on with it. I'm actually doing a Thai supper club this Saturday if anyone is interested. So moving on, here is my inspiration. I spend a lot of time on Pinterest. If you're not on there, God, stay away. I just love it. It's great for looking up things for the Halloween boxes that I did. I'm looking at it for the Christmas boxes. If I need to find a way of presenting something really nicely, I go and have a look at it. I look at a lot of online recipes. BBC Good Food is one of my favourite go-tos. I love the Bake Off. I love MasterChef. I love Professional Bake Off. I don't follow the recipes, obviously. I do sometimes, but I do get inspiration and see tips and hints of how they do things, things that make your life a little bit easier, which I love. So I do look at that a lot. And a lot of my inspiration comes from people asking me to make things for them. So on the top left, we have my chocolate brownie cake. I've been making brownies for years, never thought about making it into a cake. And I did this time when a lady came to me and she said, my kid doesn't like normal cake, she loves brownies, can you do that? I looked on Pinterest, there wasn't actually as much as I thought there would be, but I just thought I'll just stack them and see what happens. And I've made so many of them now. I can't believe how many people have gone, yeah, this is great. And this is a great alternative. This one is a dairy-free one. Every cake I make is generally dairy-free. I don't really like cooking with dairy if I don't have to. The middle one is a gluten-free rainbow cake, and I'm gutted I haven't got a picture of the inside, but it's rude to cut someone's cake open before you give it to them, I find. So I've asked the customer for one, and hopefully when they get back from their honeymoon, I know they had this for their wedding cake. Obviously, if they didn't want a big cake when there's not many people invited to a wedding at the moment. So I did that for them. And the one on the right, we've talked about these lovely, beautiful little macarons. Like I said, I was taking them to networking groups, and a lady at one of the groups said, oh, it's Christmas coming up. Would you do some boxes for me? I'd love to give them out as client presents. And I was like, what a great idea. And then that's where the idea was born. The bottom picture, this is my true inspiration. So Nathan has the allergy, and my goals are to try and make things that he would really like, that are dairy free, that are safe for him, that he wouldn't normally eat. So chocolate fondant, oh my god, the time I tried that, such a hit. When his friends come around, or even my other son's friends come around, if you make them these, they just go, wow, it's great. And it's with dairy-free vanilla ice cream, so it's absolutely brilliant. I made a gluten-free one last night and it worked, so I'm so pleased. So my ethos, I won't spend too much time on this because I'm actually talking a lot more than I thought I was going to. My ethos is to prepare and create food that I would like to eat. So that's why we have the domes in the corner over here. God, I love these things. They are chocolate hard shells on the outside with white, dark and milk chocolate, all dairy free. And it's got chocolate cake in the middle mixed with icing. That's it, but they are just delicious. To prepare and things, so I said to prepare and eat things that I like. The only exception to that is coffee macarons. I hate coffee, hate the smell of it, can't even bear the idea of tasting it. But I knew that coffee macarons would go down well, so I had to do that. So I literally, I'm spooning the coffee in like this, and I am just kind of staying away from it as much as I can. I've never tried one, never ever. So I would like food to be presented in the way that I want to see it. So I want it to look as pretty as I can make it, and that is a work in progress because that is not my thing at all. And I want it to have the information. So you can see in the bottom two pictures that I've got envelopes in there, and it's got a care pack. So it tells you how to keep everything, and it also tells you what's in everything. So many times, even though the laws state you've got to say these things, it's not there. And for someone who's got an allergic person in the family, you have to know these things. So I find that really important, and it needs to be clear and it needs to be concise. And I am trying to be as ethical as I can with all my packaging. So the boxes that the takeaways come in from the supermarket, I reuse those. The takeaway pots themselves are recyclable, and they are made from recycled sources, as are my promotional materials and my business cards. So I am trying to do my bit. It's a work in progress. I could do more, I'm sure, and I will do it as I get aware of what else I can do. Moving on. Oh no, moving on too far. Here is my happy place. So the box on the left, one of these boxes is totally gluten-free. Can you see the difference between the bits and pieces in there? No, because that's what I want to do. I want people who have an allergy or a dietary requirement. I want them to come to me and go, wow, Rookie, that was amazing. You've made all these things and they look exactly like a normal box would. I had some feedbacks from the Halloween box from a lady who's got a gluten-free child. So I'll just read it to you quickly. So the Halloween box went down a treat. At first she was allowing me a taste, and then she soon realised it was a bad idea. I mean, that's brilliant. I love it. The other thing, on the converse side, you know, I have a lot of people that come to me, they don't have any allergies, they don't have any dietary requirements, but they still try my food. And for them to turn around and say that they love it and that they want more of it is a real compliment, because I do try and make a lot of my food allergy friendly. So it's great when I hear that. So the middle picture is a gluten-free chocolate dome, and I know it's green. I made it on Halloween. I had some leftover cake from the rainbow cake, so it kind of seemed fitting. And the last thing that makes me happy is not cooking dairy-free. The reason being that dairy stuff gets everywhere, and I have to sanitize my kitchen and wash everything twice. So if I can make stuff that's dairy-free, like the macarons, which are also gluten-free, it makes me really, really happy. So quickly moving on to my struggles and frustrations. So this job isn't easy. Where should I move that picture to? I'll move it down here for a sec. The hours I work are stupid sometimes. I've been known to do afternoon teas up until about midnight trying to get prepared for the next day. COVID has been a nightmare. You know, I can't help but think about what could have happened this year if it hadn't have come along. It's made me change things, it's made me do things differently, but you know, you still can't help thinking, what if? Supermarkets, I hate supermarkets. I spend so much time in them. Oh my goodness. It's a necessary evil. I can't buy things from cash and carries. They don't do a lot of dairy-free stuff, and also they're also quite more expensive than supermarkets sometimes. So you know, you need to be careful where you buy stuff. People coming over to eat. Oh my goodness, one sec. Oh, excuse me. People coming over to eat. This is terrible, isn't it? I'm a chef. I cook for people, but actually, people coming over to the house and expected to be fed. Oh my God! When people come over to the house, I want to relax. I don't want to cook. So I mean, please come round. Don't not come round. But it is one of the things that annoys me, drives me mad a little bit. And cooking for my family, exactly the same. If I've had a day in the kitchen, there's no way I want to cook in the evening. And I love duck. I love, you know, the picture on the top right is duck with asparagus and some pak choi and spinach. And it's just one of my favorite meals, but it's just such a pain to cook again after cooking for lots of other people. And takeaways, this isn't trying to sound boastful, but you know, takeaways aren't always what you expect them to be. You have these really high expectations, and sometimes they're just crushed. And we've got some great recipes, and we can make lots of things, you know, nicer than certain takeaways. So actually getting a takeaway sometimes is a real disappointment. It's awful. I'm sorry, it's not meant to sound big-headed at all. So my regrets, I literally just have one really, and it's the fact that I've never been able to work in a professional kitchen. Because of what I've done and the way that I've done it, I've just never gone down that route. And now that I've got my own business, if I go to someone and say, can I have some work experience? They're like, what are you talking about? I'd love to see how they put things together and how it works, and you know, where people work and what they do, and do they do everything like I do, or do they just work on one thing? It would be lovely to see all that. But you know, anyway, I will just watch MasterChef and dream. But what I did do, I worked in a college kitchen. When I was doing my course, I was in a college kitchen, and it made me think about how kitchens do run. And I really hope they don't run like that one, because it was filthy. I would never let my son eat there. You know, the pans weren't clean. You had to wash everything before you touched it, before you cooked with it. It just wasn't what I thought a professional kitchen would be. And it's not a professional kitchen, so that's kind of why. I also worked at a festival last summer, just for 2 days, I think it was. And I had an experience there that just makes me hope that no one ever does these kind of things in a professional kitchen. So I was working with a junior chef, and he was wearing blue gloves. Great, you know, he was serving food to customers, and it was, you know, keeping things safe. What he did was he blew his nose He had an awful cold. He blew his nose with his gloves still on, put the tissue in the bin, carried on working and serving food to these customers with these blue gloves that had been used to blow his nose. Every time I tell that story, and I do tell it a lot, it makes my stomach turn. I just can't imagine how anyone hasn't pulled him up on that before. Not nice. So the future, we're rolling to the end of this presentation now. The future. There are a few things that I would like to do. So, you know, I would like to concentrate more on gifts and gifting. It's my happy place. I do love doing that kind of thing. I would love to get into the corporate world and say, send these out to your treasured clients. They will love it. I would also like to teach. I would like to stand in a kitchen with lots of people around me who want to learn how to cook and be inspired. And I would love to do that. Lots of stuff on social media this week about what you wanted to do as a child. And actually, I've always wanted to be a teacher. You know, there was a blip in my life when I said, oh no, I won't do that. And I went off to do a degree in IT. But there's still a part of me that would have loved to have done that. I'd love to have my own shop. I know it's really, I don't know. Is that everyone's dream if they're a caterer to have their own place? I don't want a restaurant. I really don't want a restaurant. I'd love my own cafe, takeaway, posh cafe, with a kitchen out the back that I could do the teaching in, and with a little place where people can sit and eat the goods and sit and enjoy themselves. And I'd also absolutely adore, this is the thing that I'm going to try and start to do now actually, is start consulting with restaurants and hotels and places that serve food and take them through their menus and see how they could make their menus more inclusive, because there are so many places that aren't. You know, the desserts that you find in restaurants for people with dairy free, who are dairy free, are hideous. Or there isn't anything, or it's a sorbet. My God, people, there are so many things you can do out there that would be so amazing, and small things that you can change or just keep for those occasions where you have someone. It would make the world of difference, and it would improve customer loyalty so much. So those are things that I'd like to do. And lessons learned by me. So 2 more. I'm almost done. What you see on social media is, you know this, I mean, we all know this, we just don't believe it sometimes. What you see on social media isn't the truth. So on the left, the cake at the bottom is what ended up being the cake on the top. This is another one that reduced me to tears. It's cakes, honestly, I should just steer clear. This is gluten-free cake with lemon curd in the middle of it. I put so much lemon curd in the middle. As soon as I put the top layer on, everything started to go like this. And instead of taking the layers off and, you know, taking out some of the curd, I just put the lot in the freezer. And then to top matters off, the meringue, the icing that this lady wanted, she didn't want anything to stabilize it. So it's literally eggs and sugar. It's raw meringue. So obviously that's really soft as well. So putting that on, everything was kind of starting to go like this. So again, I had to put it in the freezer. It was great because by the time it got to them and it had unfrozen, it tasted fine. But you know, at that point when I was going, oh my God, what am I going to do? The picture looks okay. It doesn't look too bad. You wouldn't be able to tell that it was about to go like this rather than like this. But yeah, I don't always know whether to put this stuff on social media, but you know, it makes me laugh, so it's going to make someone else laugh. On the right, we have got macarons. The top ones are the first ones I ever made, and the bottom ones are the ones I made a few weeks ago. I know the bottom ones look like they've got flecks in it, but they're just orange peel. But you know, with time and perseverance and practice, it's changed so much, and they look so much better. You know, they taste the same, but I've got so much better by not giving up. I do like the accolades. You know, I love it when someone gives me a great review. The hard work to get there, not so much, but you know, you can't do one without the other. But you know, I am a bit of a glory hunter, I guess. So what else have I got here? So COVID has been the curse, but it's made me go into gifting a lot more. So I've done treat boxes, and I've thought about hampers and all the kind of things that I haven't done before. Coming up, Christmas boxes. So you know, I've had really good fun trying to work out what I'm going to put in them, and I've really enjoyed having the space to be able to do that. So here we go. I'm just going to read what I read out at the beginning. In summary, I am a work in progress. I will get it wrong and I will get it right. I will persevere. I will cry. Hopefully not anymore. I'm done with the crying. I will be so proud of myself and I will not let my customer down and I will stay true to myself. And if I can help you in any way, I would love to know about it. I hope that has been informative. I hope it made you smile. And I hope it helps you understand a little bit more about me and what I do and where I want to go and all those kind of things that people ask you. Thank you, and please do get in touch. Have a good day. Bye.